I'm walking down the world's longest pedestrian system, the Strøget. Cutting through the centre of Copenhagen, this street is at the heart of the city's vibrant culture. Copenhagen is home to 1.8 million people and in recent years has won a number of awards as the world's best city to live in. In 2008, British magazine Monocle described it as the planet's best designed city, and judging by the architecture and layouts around me, it's not hard to see why. When delegates arrive in Denmark this December, they will be landing in a country that is enjoying something of an architectural renaissance. One of Denmark's oldest architectural practices is CF Moeller. 80 years after Professor Christian Frederik Moeller launched the company in 1924, the multi-award-winning firm, now one of the largest in Scandinavia, has 7 offices located around Europe. CF Moeller has always regarded social responsibility and innovation as a core part of its work.
We have 3 basic reasons to work with environmental policies. The first reason would be the ethical one, which is really it's good to do good, and we want to help. And as I said, it's in the prolongment of our own natural tradition. And the world needs a big paradigm shift anyway, and we want to be there to help. The second reason would be the artistic reason, because developing new architectural styles and systems is very obvious when you work with the new sustainable architecture or green buildings, if you like. And this is very exciting and highly motivating and interesting for creative minds, as architects have. The third reason would be the commercial reason, because we know for a fact that sustainable architecture is here to come. It's the future, really, and we have to be there, and we have to be ready to supply.
To ensure continued best practice, the company has introduced an environmental management system. As 40% of all energy consumption comes from buildings, the company's target is the creation of plus energy buildings, those that produce more energy than they consume. One such building is the Arhus University Hospital. Opened in November 2008 in Oslo, Norway, the hospital claims to be the most modern in Europe. Its design allows for daylight in all workplaces, views of the surrounding countryside, as well as contact with the environment. A glass-covered main thoroughfare in which wood is the dominant material links the various buildings and functions. A deep geothermal energy well provides 85% of all the heating needed in the hospital, which helps it reduce its total energy consumption by 40%.
There are several studies that show that if you do a healthy office building, for instance, you can obtain up to 10% more efficiency out of the workers working there for the healthy, non-toxic environment, and you have less absentees. And we know for a fact that if you are hospitalized in a green building, a green hospital, you will get well a lot quicker. And as the last good example would be if you score higher marks and do better tests in school, if your school is a healthy building.
Another of the company's projects is an environmentally sustainable villa on the shores of the Wadden Sea in Denmark. Villa Ulstrup converts used energy into new energy to sell back to local power companies. The large windows facing the view to the southwest make the best passive use of the sun's heat.
This villa is a perfect example of what we would call energy design. So beginning the process, we'll be looking into how is the orientation of the site, what are the options energy-wise, what technique can we use, how can we best build this building to respond to the energy demands and to respond to the qualities of the site as well. So we have a sketching process initially, finding out how to optimize these different factors, and this creates the shape of the villa, and then comes in the technique of the building, how it's going to be constructed, using prefabricated materials, using thermal mass, using renewable energies, and so on.
The villa uses recycled materials such as flax. The fibre, which is a byproduct of the textiles industry, delivers high strength and durability, abrasion resistance, and high moisture regain.
The environmental features of the building are multiple. First of all, it's a passive house construction, highly insulated, and very airtight. That means that the solar gain is the primary source of heating, and that means that we don't have to connect this building to a central CHP plant as such, so it's taken off the grid. Next, we have renewables added on top of that, so it has solar energy generation both in terms of hot water and electricity, and there is also thermal energy generated from the ground.
Clients are clearly impressed. The villa is owned by Nice Alstrup.
I think it's a must that we in the future build houses like this, and I think that it in a few years will be a demand from a law demand that we build like this. I think the old type of heating and just consuming electricity is part of the past.
CF Moeller aims to be using sustainable architecture for all projects by the year 2015. As more than 50% of its building projects are already energy design buildings, and with clients becoming far more environmentally conscious, the company estimates that in 10 to 15 years, energy neutral and eco-friendly designs could be a building regulation requirement.